Hi. Today we're going to have a very frank talk about the state of web3 games and metaverses. So first, I want you to know where I stand with GameFi. The issues I have with GameFi is that they pay gamers to play, to stay in the game. And that's why they call it play to earn. Because they cannot attract players to come to the game because the game is fun, because the quality is good. No, they have to pay players to come. And that's why most of the GameFi games are not fun and they're not quality, because they rely on paying people to come. And I'm a game maker. And so from my perspective, I spend a lot of money and time to build the game. And I have to pay people to come? There's something wrong. And it gets even more wrong when you run out of money to give it to them, because you're not actually paying them cash, you're paying them tokens. And when the bear market hits, the token that you pay them are worthless, or worth 10% of what it used to be. Then they're not interested, they leave. And there are always other GameFi projects that pay more than you do. So the business model for the market is not very healthy. And I don't like it. I'm a game maker. The games that I make, I would like to make. We try to make them fun. We try to make them addictive. And we make people want to stay. We want people to feel something when they play the game. And it's the emotions. It's the entertainment that keep players to come and stay in the game. And if they like it, they pay. So what do I think of GameFi? I declared it dead. But there are people in the industry, in the Web3 space, they refuse to call it dead. They keep coming back with GameFi, NFT, GameFi. NFT is another can of worms. Look, I'm fine with NFT. I think it's a cool technology. I hope people would just do fair launch only, because it's too easy for scammers to just take the money and disappear. Rug pull, cash grab. Or there's another scheme. For now, let's call it slow rug pull, which means they still have the website up. The emails, once in a while, they will reply, but there's actually no one on the project. And they're not doing anything. It's just slowly, people's expectations die out. So that's a slow rug pull. The slow rug pull is they may actually try to make the game. And they just pump the expectations up so much. The token, the NFT price are so high. No game in the universe can live up to that expectation. So when the game launches, the token and the NFT price drop to nothing. And if you're knowledgeable about the space, you know what projects fit that criteria. And that's why some projects never launch. They never go live. They just do strategic partnerships with Gucci, with LV, with this and that and that. But there's no product. Well, there is product, they just won't release it. They won't open it to the public. They never release it because they know when they release it, they'll lose everything. There'll be no one left playing the game because the product is not competitive to the real games. So, yeah, don't hate me when I say Ponzi, because you pay people to come, you pay people to stay. Where do you get the money from? You get it from the new people. You get it from the tokens. And some people want to argue with me, everything is Ponzi anyway. Real estate is Ponzi. Fiat is Ponzi. I don't like that conversation, because the reality is GameFi don't survive past 6 months, most of them. And they're built by people who've never made games before. So, yeah, I don't like to discuss these things with scammers. Okay, so long story short, well, actually that wasn't short, but I do not want GameFi to pollute the Web3 games, because Web3 games, for now, it's somewhat pristine. and us game makers from video game industry, we would like to embrace it. We would like to come in and make games that support blockchain. And we're fine with releasing games with no NFT. We're fine with that. Or we do fair launch. We're fine with that because we're not scammers. I have been making games for 36 years. I'm not gonna scam people, of their livelihood, of their life savings and disappear. People don't use their real names. That's what they intend to do. Okay, so number 2, people don't like NFTs. I just recently did a poll on LinkedIn. People don't like NFT. I think it's fine. I think if you want to support NFT, that's fine. If you don't want to support it, that's fine. The problem is there are too many bad actors in the space. Like I said, they just launched NFTs as JPEGs, promising that there'll be a killer game coming out. They show you the video. The game may never come. And the NFT would drop to nothing. There are a lot of examples in the market. They launch those games on Epic Store, and they get really crappy ratings, the games. So it's almost better if they don't launch the games. They just launch the NFTs as good art. But don't promise that there's a game for it, because the game better live up to the expectations. So there will be companies knowing NFT has got a bad name, so they'll use other names like premium game items or game premium items or something like that. Digital items, ownership, property, something like that. But come on, do they take us for idiots? If they still behave like NFT scammers, it doesn't matter what they call them. So that's number 2. And you can see the market sentiment, see how people react to the idea. A lot of people really don't like it. So the traditional GameFi is no-go. NFT, gotta be careful, gotta be safe, gotta be ethical. Number 3, player-to-player trading. So there's been more and more talk about player-to-player trading. Look, I advise on a lot of projects, and all of them agreed that web3 games should focus more on player-to-player trading instead of game companies paying players to come and stay. Because if you make a successful game, if you make an entertaining game, there'll be a lot of players come to your game, and when you earn or grind good items, other players want to get it from you. There'll be no bubble in that scenario. That's not Ponzi. Not to mention other commerce behaviors like, I can buy expensive items, I can lease it, I get my commission back from the game items that I leased out. You can have paid grinding. You can pay someone to take over your account or your character. You can grind your character for you at, $10 an hour or so. Then he makes money and you're happy because you don't want to grind for 4 hours. But the game has to be fun. The game has to be awesome. So it always comes back to that. Are we making games or are we not making games? So don't emphasize everything on what you know, which is tokenomics. What is the tokenomics for when there are no game, when there are no products? So I'm not saying tokenomics is not important at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to have a product. Otherwise, all of this is just castle in the air, with no foundation. Okay, so I'm just basically using player-to-player trading to explain there are other legitimate gamers' needs, that we need blockchain to help people to have secured ways to transact and also to keep the items they make from the game. Without the scams, without all the pump, without all the NFT pre-sales, you can have a lot of wonderful things done And I talk to blockchain companies, the public chains, L1 public chain, L1, L2 public chain companies. They love the idea. They think it's great. They don't think it's good for the scammer companies to keep launching failed products and then run away, because they ruin our chance to make something innovative. All right, number 4. Some metaverse projects are at 10% of the value from a year ago. It's sad, but it's true. Yeah, we're in a bear market, but their performance is not, it's actually performing far worse than the market. So in a bear market, hype doesn't work anymore well, or it doesn't work as much. So when the hype is gone, what do you have left? What's your product? You always have to have a product. So it's time to be sort of come to improve ourselves, improve the fundamentals of your project, and focus on building the product. Because when this bear market is over, those with quality products will shine. That's when you shine. So don't be so anxious. It takes time to build a good product. And like my post, I've said earlier, hire the right people to do the job. Hire people who've done this over and over and over and over again. You wouldn't hire a novice to help decorate your home, or have a first-time pilot to fly the commercial airline with you on it. You'll be uneasy if you sit in a car driven by a first-time driver. So look, it's expensive to make games. It's expensive. So don't place your faith in people who don't deserve it. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, games are not software. Do not use software development's attitude or know-how or discipline to do game productions. You will fail. You will fail. Because only a third at most of the endeavors is related to software development. There's art, there's gameplay, game design, there's stories, there's distributions and everything. It kills me when people treat developing games as software development. It is not. It's far from it. It's related, but it's not the same. You gotta be able to manage artists. You gotta be able to hire artists. You gotta be able to recognize artists. And how do you tell bad game designers from good ones? Do you just look at a good game and you copy that? Does that work? And can you tell the difference between a bad game and a good game? Do you think you have what it takes to tell the difference? And do you know if it's not as good, you know what to do to improve the gameplay? Do you know how to build a car from scratch? Do you know how to operate on patience? I've known a lot of people in my trade. It takes a long time to get good at this, and it's not easy. There are companies out there, talking about GameFi and NFT, saying they're essential to metaverse or to web3. I don't think they know what they're talking about. I think they've been living in a cave for the past 7 months. A lot have changed, and they're not listening. They're just surrounded by the yeah people around them, and they're not listening to what's going on in reality. And the market sentiment has changed big time. The more and more game developers like me entering the space, and we won't have it. So look, everything needs to be promoted. Promoters are important. Promotion is important. Marketing is important. Community is important. But where's the product? Where's the product? So we have to come back to the basic. I'm not saying product is everything, but you need a product, okay? Unless you're selling pitch decks, unless you're selling speeches, unless you're selling your services. But if you're a crypto project, especially Web3 games and metaverse, you need product. So anyway, I've been saying this a lot. I hope you understand me better.